Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive. So, I feel like I'm getting super excited about the 12/12 portal and this rise of the 13th zodiac sign, or the missing or forgotten piece. So, I'm actually going to pull cards for this, for what to expect for the 13th house. When I say it's like two totally different versions of the self, that's really the energy coming through, and I'm being told to use the moon deck rather than this one. What do we need to know about this transformative cycle? Let's do that. Pulling cards is fun, isn't it? It's just another good confirmation, I want to say. But really, friends, this is such a potent time. Like, you want to jump timelines, this is what you've been preparing for, is jumping timelines into this other state of version of you, healing the wounded Chiron. And you'll notice this year has been like layers for a lot of people, layers of healing, layers of different things, layers of emotions, and they're all important facets to be able to do that. And the fact that this rolls right through to ancient mythology, both in the Greeks as well as Mesopotamia, as well as ancient Egypt, is very fluid with this. There's a lot of mythology around it. And I love mythology. I love the stories because they weave a story that always you'll find is intrinsic to all of us in our everyday lives, or stories that happen on the earth plane to this day. There are similar stories. So the rise of the 13th house, the Ophiuchus, is the foundation of this 12/12 portal, which is a transformative, taking what was, transforming it into something completely different, taking the darkest of the dark and shooting up like that Sagittarian energy. Don't forget, it's also a new moon in Sagittarius. Shoot for the stars. I'm hearing somebody's mother in spirit is wanting to share a message. She's saying, shoot for the stars. Stop doubting yourself. All of that doubt is an illusion, is what somebody's mom is saying. Do not accept or sacrifice what you wish and dream of in order to accommodate or appease others. She makes me feel like whoever this message is for, your mom is saying you constantly did that you were groomed for that. It was what your state was. It was your natural peacemaker. She says you don't like to rock the boat. However, I wish to disclose, is the word coming through, disclose that rocking the boat actually can be a good thing, because it illuminates and gets rid of anything that's sinking your boat. If you're not willing to look at all the items in the boat, and half of them are sinking you, your boat's going to sink. She says you don't need to paint a pretty picture all the time. You can just call a spade. Do it what it is. Don't be afraid. Sometimes we view that if somebody is upset that we're harming them, but in truth, sometimes we need a good cold slap of reality. That's what I'm hearing. Sometimes we need a good cold slap of reality. Sometimes we need to get our ego put in check. Sometimes we need to look at the darkness, not because it's dark and it's bad, but because it's a facet of our lives or our shadow aspects. She says, follow your arrow wherever it points. All I can see is that Sagittarian new moon ruled by Jupiter, like rock and roll, do your thing, don't care. Like, are you tired yet of caring what everybody else thinks? Are you tired yet of cleaning up messes? She says, are you tired yet of appeasing other people? Are you tired of those things? Because this is the first card out. Assessing. Notice how she's got the telescope. Notice she's in the air, cosmic, in the universe, looking out, seeing all the different things that she can become, seeing all the different places she can go, opportunities. This portal holds opportunities of a lifetime. For somebody on here, you're going to have the smallest little opportunity, and it's going to seem like it's minuscule, but it is actually the most important step, because it leads you to something massive. So don't discount or discredit the little things, because it's the little things that add up to make the big things. That's how we get big things. It is a piling on of little things, creating that big momentum or that big opportunity. So we're assessing. This is what we've been doing. This is what we need to know. We've spent 2023 assessing who we are, why we are, what do we put up with that we don't have to anymore? What skin are we shedding right now? Is it the skin of doubt? Is it a skin of self-loathing? Wow, I'm really getting really strongly that anybody who has self-loathed based on your experiences or feeling like you're not enough or haven't deserved things, that self-loathing skin, I'm literally seeing a snake right now shedding an entire scale system of self-loathing. The tremendous amount of healing comes from that aspect. So we've been assessing, where have you not loved yourself? Where have you not identified something in your life that has no balance? So you'll also notice through 2023, preparing you for this 12-12 portal, most of you will notice the illumination of things that are out of balance. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your relationships, maybe it's your love life, maybe it's your actual home, maybe it's your friendship relationships, maybe it's your job, maybe you're a workaholic and you need to have a balance in there. We have been illuminating the places that need balance based on illuminating the things that are out of balance so that you can assess them and get them into balance. Because what is Ophiuchus? 13th house foundation of the 12-12 portal. If you wish to shift and change and move and transform and jump timelines into a higher, wholer, vivid, wow, that's an interesting word, a vivid version of you, which is more of you than you were before. Because remember, you've just been taking off lenses and skins. You've always been becoming or unbecoming. You could look at it both ways, which I love. We have to find the balance and illuminate the things that take away from that. That's shedding the skin. You can't shed a skin if you don't know what that skin is or haven't identified it. So we've been through this imbalance, assessing what needs to come into balance and what needs to happen in order to transform, in order to shed what was. And what's the next card out? It's a stunning, beautiful card. You'll notice that, see the earth plane? What's the 13th chakra? It's the Earth Star chakra. Some people call it ground zero. Some people call it the 13th chakra. It's the Earth Star chakra where we ground onto the earth plane, the illumination of the higher realms, making spirituality a reality where there is money coming in from it, where you are able to make a living and feed your family and have abundance based on the wisdom and the gifts of the divine, making spirituality a reality. This is also a culmination of that in the 12-12 portal as well. I love this card. It's time. It's also number 5, my friends. The number 5 is the number of change. 55 is related with snake medicine as well, which is interesting. There's actually a card deck where card number 55 is snake medicine. So you'll notice it's bringing down the light of the universe, of the divine, and rooting it onto the Earth Star chakra, which is the 13th chakra center. So that's also fascinating as well. I love that card. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning. All right, now we're going to move to the second card. So when we assess the things that are out of balance, we have tremendous amounts of growth because we then start taking actionable steps towards balancing it out, which also brings peace and harmony. So do you see how sometimes the chaos and imbalance that's been highlighted, the whole purpose of it is to bring you into balance, which brings you into harmony, which actually puts you in growth mode where you're moving forward and expanding. Oh, this card flew out. You must trust. We must trust what is happening as it's happening. See her in that little jar, all tiny. She's in an egg that's halfway below the ground and halfway above the ground. And it's a clear egg. Notice the ducks. Notice the nest on top. These are such powerful, potent cards. It's beautiful. The message that I'm getting with this one is trusting the evolution of this, trusting the shedding of the skin, trusting that when you are rebirthed with your new skin, it's going to feel new skin. Think about it. Take a baby's skin. Look at a baby's skin when they're born. It's so soft. It's so unblemished. It's so gentle and pudgy and cute. I love babies. It's just perfection. It's such perfection. It's malleable. It regenerates quickly. It's very tender. It's just pure. It's very pure. And if you think about that, when we're in that phase of transformation or expansion right now, you might feel like all hell is broken loose. I'm hearing somebody, you need to trust that everything that you are shedding, there is something more beautiful and pure underneath it. There is something more magnificent coming out. And you do have to trust that a new version of you will emerge. You have to trust somebody's mother. She's just all up in this reading. She's saying you have to trust that the version of you that you're moving to is only uncomfortable discomfort. She says you will find discomfort in the process only because it is new, only because it is not familiar. But what was familiar is actually not healthy for you. Whoever this message is for, you'll know it. That's why it's very unbalanced. The idea that it was healthy was based on familiarity and the status quo. She says, trust that you are moving into a grander version of you. Trust that you can be this wild, exotic, strange, and curious, shocking thing that says things that maybe people don't understand, or they're like, what is that person talking about? Maybe you have this great idea that you're hesitating on. How can I put that out there? People aren't going to understand this, and it's a little too out there, and nobody understands. There's all these stories. This mother is really intent on making sure that you understand that you're going here and not worrying about all the things that are here, because you're going here. You're using those as your jump off points, not so you can stay there, not so you can stay in the familiar, but so that you can go here. And that's going to be different, and it's going to be new. And yes, it might be shocking to other people, but who cares? You're not here to appease people anymore. That was for the first phase of your journey, is what this mother is saying. I also have somebody's grandmother tapping in. I agree. I concur is the words that she's saying. Somebody else's grandmother. They're teaming up the feminine energies for this. So you've been assessing and experiencing imbalances so that you could assess what was out of balance, which is propelling you into massive growth. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You may feel like you have an unsure footing. You will be asked to trust. You can co-create with the divine and trust that what you are leaving behind is simply you're trading for something better. Whatever you leave behind, whatever you let go of, you're trading for something better. Oh, and here is the next card out that just flipped out. Self-love. This is what it's taking you to. The love of self. When you relinquish the chains, the bindings, and the attachments of needing others to love you, you no longer are held down, and you get to fuel yourself with divine love and self-love, because you are the divine incarnate. And the very idea that you wouldn't love yourself, knowing that you are a divine being and creator does not make junk, does not make any sense at all. So as you relinquish, as you grow, you are really stepping into this beautiful skin of self-love, self-empowerment, freedom, sovereignty, beauty. And I'm also hearing every scar upon your body, it is stunningly gorgeous. I don't care what it's from. The scars of the heart, the scars of the physical aspects, the scars of the mind. Those are all going to culminate into the most stunning, absolutely stunning garden of your dreams. But only if you know, but only if you allow it to, right? If you stop your growth, if you stop trusting, you're being asked to have such grand trust. One last card, fifth card. It's taking you to such a beautiful skin of self, loving the feminine aspects of you, the masculine ones, loving your wisdom and loving your innocence or purity or childlike wonder. It's loving all of it, because you are the cosmos and the cosmos are you. You are nothing and you are everything. It's so beautiful. It's such a powerful energy, this snake healer. Last one, hunger. See the wolf moon, hunger. What card number is that? 29 breaks down to an 11. Hunger. I'm not sure that the number matters, but maybe you're 29. Maybe the number 29 is significant to you. Hunger. This is important, because if we don't hunger for something more, something better, if we don't hunger for this love, if we don't hunger to love the self, we simply accept less than. Stop settling is what I'm hearing. Stop settling for less than. Stop settling for the status quo. Stop settling for things that create disappointments. Stop settling for half of what you want. Stop settling and choosing other people's desires rather than your own. Hunger. Hunger for that. Notice he's looking straight up, the howling at the moon. Somebody on here, you howl at the moon a lot, or it has a significant reference for you. The leader of the pack, vroom, vroom, I'm getting a wolf pack, leader of the pack. hungering for more, hungering to fulfill the self. We only hunger for this when we do not feel this. So it's kind of like, are you tired enough of this general version of you that's culminated up until this point, that settled, accepted less, needed other people to fulfill things, made choices to appease others rather than yourself, self-sacrifice is coming in? Are you tired of that? Because that's what you've been working up to. Most of you will be like, yeah, I'm tired of the dark. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. This is the point where you begin to hunger and take the actionable steps in this new version of you that you have been expanding into, assessing what works and what doesn't work. Do I want to continue like this, or do I want to actually grow into something more? This is the energy of the portal. It's very, very powerful. I'm being told to pull from a different deck. One more card. Last card. What do we need to know? Ooh, what do we need to know to stay in alignment with the highest trajectory, timeline, whatever that looks like? What does Spirit want us to know to wrap up and culminate this energy? You guys excited? I'm always excited for transformation. I'm always excited for expansion. I'm always excited for new things and new nuances. I'm excited to be able to look at the past and pull out the pearls. I'm also being referenced of the pearls in relationship to Ophiuchus. They're a mixture of Scorpio and Sagittarius. This means it's a mixture of yellow citrine, yellow topaz, and pearls mixed with blue sapphires, blue topaz, and turquoise aquamarine, yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. That's referencing me back to the late bloomer video. If you have not watched that already, I highly advise you check it out, because this Ophiuchus idea of this whole version here suddenly expanding into this wise version here, it's like literally two different people. It's like taking everything from the deep dark depths of your entire journey in the mummy, in the chrysalis, and suddenly it's blooming now. That Ophiuchus 13th house. Happy birthday to Sagittarians, and happy birthday to all those under the sign of Ophiuchus. It's very exciting. I find it very exciting. Well then, you cannot make this up, my friends. Also the name Angelica, angels, angelical realms is part of what we talked about. Here it is right here. I pulled a card from another deck. We did talk about Ophiuchus being the sign of going from the deep dark depths into the high angelical realms, deeply connected to them. You'll notice there's an angel lighting the way in the darkness of the winter. Angelica, it's card number 2. That's my daughter's number. So feet on ground, heart in hand. That's the song playing. Your feet steadfast on the ground, but deeply, divinely connected to the angelical realms, lighting the way in the dark. Notice the candles lighting the way. I think she's wearing a crown. I've never seen this card before. Let me read what it says on it. You'll also see the wolf. There's the wolf again. There's the wolf with her. The hunger. Notice the moss of transformation looking up at the sky. Oh, such amazing things. It says, the bells have rung, chiming far and near. Underneath feathered wings, my dear, you have nothing to fear. So this really is such a transformative energy. If you have had a lot of fear in stepping into your power, saying things, choosing things, being who you are, doing something new, you have nothing to fear. The bells have rung. That's a significant omen, bells ringing. And obviously bells clear energy. They're associated with many different cultures, many different spirituality, the using of sound frequency. Look at ancient Egypt, using sound frequency to move objects, lighten them, change them, transform them so that they move forms. The bells have rung. It's time. What was in this other card over here? This first one up here, notice that she's holding a clock. It's time. This is the portal. It's time. Do not be afraid. They're chiming far and near, coming to a completely different state. Oh, I love that, you guys. I feel like this is a mishmash of cards because it's kind of like a scattering energy, but in truth, you're scattering everything, right? You're assessing what needs to happen so that you can expand. You have to trust in that process. It requires divine trust in yourself, trust in your ancestors, trusting in the unknown, that what's ahead of you and the version you're stepping into, that if you shed this skin, there's something better there. And I'm hearing somebody is saying no to something, and that's very important that you say no to what was, no to the vibrational frequencies that were, because you're going here. And if you don't say no to that, you're going to stay here. And that's a choice. To be clear, we think that, oh, the divine's going to activate me, I'm going to do this thing. Well, you also have to do the actions, and you also have to do the work, and you also have the mindset. You also have to have all these other things that culminate into it. Think about 5D consciousness, friends. What if 5D consciousness was simply getting everything into balance of your earthly matters? Getting everything into balance of your earthly matters so that you can co-create with the divine and bring in the divine knowledge. It's mastering both the earth plane and the angelical realms, or the divine or spiritual aspect, making spirituality a reality here on the earth plane, bringing down divine guidance and rooting it onto the earth star chakra of each of us individually, which ripples out into the collective consciousness, which ultimately hits all of consciousness, because somebody did the work, somebody brought in the light, somebody's standing as a pillar, somebody's balancing and rooting and stabilizing massive spiritual energy right now for this portal. And it's very important, because spiritual energy allows us to awaken. It allows us to find our fire. It allows us to find our peace. But 5D consciousness is really about getting all this stuff into play too on the earth plane, because that's the earth star chakra, and where there is a ton of imbalances based on the experiences and the disconnection or vilifying of some spiritual practices. I don't know why that's coming through, vilifying spiritual practices. Somebody's attempting to vilify or has vilified. Well, there's many, right? I'm right and you're wrong. There's many ways that could play out. But friends, this whole process took us to exactly the thing we talked about at the very beginning of this reading, of those in the house of the 13th foundation. This is a foundation of the 1212 portal, the 13th zodiac house rising, the house of unity, Ophiuchus, serpent energy. It's the shedding of old versions. It's the healer of the zodiac. It is the one that takes all the other 12 houses and dimensions and is able to pluck out the darkest, deepest wounds and transform them into the highest light. This is what this is for. All that darkness, all that shifting and imbalances and chaos you may have experienced on this journey. May is an understatement, I'm sure, for anybody watching this channel. You likely all have experienced those things at some point or another in different ways. But you see how she's feet on the ground, but the angels are guiding them? That's what this is. It is a deep divine connection. It's taking the depths and the lights and bringing them together with such beauty. It's very exciting. I'm excited. So just know, this 1212 portal, you've actually been preparing for it this entire year, whether you know it or not. Your job is to trust and allow yourself to step into this new version of you. Your job is to allow yourself to assess. Don't turn your face away from something just because it's not working. It's actually being highlighted so that it can work, so that it can be in that state of growth, trust, self-love. We're here to make spirituality a reality. So I will leave that with you. Happy 1212 portal. Enjoy this energy. Allow yourself to have freedom. Allow yourself to have freedom by shedding the constricting skins. Allow snake medicine to heal you with its sensuality, with the purity of it, allowing that old skin to really just be moved through it. Allow it to be, I'm seeing allow the divine to pull the skin off. Allow the white snake healer, snake medicine. I'm getting the shaman where the snake eats you whole. But what it actually happens is it sheds off of you and dies in the process. And it takes all the old skins, all the darkness, all the chains, and leaves you in the rebirth of the snake as a whole new version of you. Again, I'm being referenced to that show on Netflix, Shamaran, which has a lot of mythology in it as well. So if you feel inclined to watch that, please do. It's so funny how synchronistic all of the different messages have been over the last week, all the different channels, they've all involved snakes. They've all involved the 13th house of unity. Again, if you like this content, if you want more of it, and also if you want to catch the in-depth 13th rise of the 13th house of unity, please make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be notified when that comes out. And as always, beautiful souls, I'm sending you much love, light, peace, healing, transcendence. Happy new moon in Sagittarius, Ophiuchus, and happy 12/12 portal. Transform, my loves. Shed that old skin. You do not need it. Until next time, beautiful souls.